This is Management in the Music Industry, Learning Outcome Free, and the student's name is
Neil Parkinson. The manager I'm going to talk about today is Alan Klein. Alan Klein was born in 1931 in New Jersey. When he was going from college, he went on from accounting classes to working in the field, eventually for a company who handled the bookkeeping of several show business personalities, learning the ins and outs of the business as he went along. When Klein met singer Bobby Darin at a wedding in the late 1950s, he asked him, "How would you like to make $100,000? When the surprised Darin asked what he would have to do for it, Klein's reply was, "Nothing, just let me go over your accounts." Klein's investigation of Bobby Darin's books resulted in, true to his prediction, in a $100,000 cheque given to Darin by his record company, and Alan Klein began making a name for himself. A good one among celebrity clients who praised him for the money and financial security he was able to give them, and a nasty one among industry insiders who spoke of him as a tenacious and a tendency to be blunt, and as a contract buster to be looked out for. Either way, Klein well earned his nickname, the Robin Hood of pop. The British invasion of the early 1960s brought Klein many more clients, some readily, some only with time. As the Beatles became the biggest act in popular music, Klein expressed interest in buying them from Brian Epstein, but made little progress. In the meantime, he took over management of the Rolling Stones and from Andrew Luke Oldham, bought a quantity of stock in MGM, and gained control of a Cameo Parkway record label. The latter he merged his own company, resulting in the birth of ABKCO. It was Paul McCartney who first suggested Klein to be contacted to possibly work in some way for the Beatles, after the Rolling Stones sang his praises, with the ready cash Klein required for them by an advance on their recording contract. John Lennon met Klein casually in 1968 on the set of the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, but only months later did Klein's chance truly come when he read Lennon's comment in a press that business problems at Apple Corp, the Beatles company, would have them broke in 6 months. Their management had foundered since Brian Epstein's death, with no one person acting as the boss in over a year, and the band mostly in charge of their own affairs. After meeting with Klein, Lennon immediately endorsed him as the de facto manager, writing the chairman of EMI, "From now on, Alan Klein handles all my stuff," and convinced George Harrison and Ringo Starr to also take him on. Paul McCartney objected, preferring his soon-to-be father-in-law, Lee Eastman, to take the reins. An attempt at a joint meeting between the band and both would be managers misfired badly. As Eastman first patronised, then lost his temper with Klein, Klein used this to his advantage, gaining the immediate sympathies of Lennon, Harrison and Starr, and their signatures on paper soon afterwards as their new manager. McCartney chose Eastman instead, but did pose for signing pictures with Klein. Alan Klein's involvement with the Beatles was a factor in their breakup, the same with countless other things. He successfully renegotiated their recording contract with EMI after threatening to have the Beatles quit recording if their royalty rates weren't increased, and stop the money resources that were pouring out of Apple, getting them on a more solid financial footing. Apple staff balked at now having to punch in on a time clock. He wasn't able to regain control of Northern Songs, Lennon McCartney's publishing company, though, or realise many of the original hopes for Apple as a conglomerate, and he wasn't able to stop the band from growing apart. Klein's working relationship with the former Beatles deteriorated considerably after their split. He helped George Harrison put together the concert in Bangladesh in 1972, with the proceeds going to UNICEF, but some mistakes in paperwork and timing kept much of the money frozen in a East Crow account, instead of going where it was needed. Lennon and Yoko Ono also cooled on Klein after Klein had sided with Harrison in declining Ono as a chance to perform at the concert. and was unable to help in their custody battle for her daughter. Eventually suits and countersuits began to fly. Klein eventually settled with Lennon, Harrison and Starr in January 1977 and continued his own business career, eventually owning the publishing and recordings of many of his artists, and thereby considerable control of their potential income. Early records by Hermits, the Rolling Stones, the Animals, Phil Spector, and are still sold through ABCO, while most of the Cameo Parkware repertoire, including hits by Chubby Checker, the Dovells, Little Eva, and the Times, has been in the vault since 1980s. Alan Klein died on 4th of July 2009 in New York City, and that was my presentation.